Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Running Code Humor in South Texas Law Enforcement. I'm your host, T-Bone. My partner, J-Man, as always. J-Man, what's up?
Not as much. Feeling good.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. And it's a nice, lazy Sunday morning here in South Texas.
Mm-hmm.
We're sorry about last week. We had technical malfunction trying to get that episode out. And while we were filming it, the power went out, corrupted our entire system, including the camera. So we just kind of gave up for that day. But now we're working again. So sorry about the delay, guys. We appreciate you staying by us, though. Remember, if you want to get a hold of us before we get into the show, it's runningcode2023@gmail.com. That's RUNNINCODE2023@gmail.com. Or you can leave comments on the YouTube videos and audios. They're there as well. You can catch this show on all streaming platforms plus YouTube. Please tell your friends, send the links, let them get a gander at it. We'd like to grow this audience, and eventually at some point, like we've talked about before, I'd like to do lives. I really, really do.
Yeah.
I want to have that ability to do live shows, like a broadcast.
Looks nice, yeah.
Yeah, it looks cool. And my ultimate goal is to have like one pre-recorded show, and then one live a week. That's the ultimate goal. I'd love to have that. And I'd like to be able to have the ability to, we can dissect videos, whether they be funny or not so funny or bad or, just whatever in law enforcement, but where the audience can see the video that we're talking about at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So we can all see it. And so it's kind of what I'd like to grow towards. There's a lot that needs to be done to do that. A lot of people don't realize what goes into podcasting. It's not as just simple as sitting in front of a camera. And if you actually want to turn it into a business, it's a lot of work. If you can get sponsors, then you got to have lawyers to do the legal paperwork for sponsorship. And it's not easy. And then, of course, there's always the worry you're going to say the wrong thing, get canceled. Now, cancel culture has kind of backed off the last couple of years. But depending on what happens in the next election, it could come right back. So it's one of those things that you got to be real cautious about. And like, we're not promoting them because they're paid to. Anti-Hero Broadcast is one of my favorite podcasts. I love Michael Dilks and Tyler Hoover, and I like what they've done with it. They took that podcast from a small little podcast to an actual business, Counterculture Network, and they've got offshoot podcasts, and they have merchandise, and they have sponsors, and they've done great work with this podcast, but even they kind of have to be a little careful at times. Even though they're in Florida, they still got to be a little careful sometimes what they say. And then Michael Dilks is running for sheriff. So he's got to be real careful what he says. Yeah. It's a great platform to let everyone know who you are, but you also got to be very careful what you say.
That's true.
Your opponent goes, oh, he said this on Anti-Hero 6 months ago. And you're like, okay, I was being funny. It was a humorous thing. And we take it serious kind of crap. So, and for us, J-Man and I are still active law enforcement. So we doubly have to be careful what we say. Neither one of us wants to give up our career for this. This is fun, not, a career. Now, if we were making 10 G's a month apiece on this, you know what? Let it rip. If we get fired, we get fired. But I have to pay bills, and I'm not selling ass. So, and you do better at that than I would. You're much better looking than I. Maybe I'll sell feet pics. I take good care of my toes. So we appreciate you sticking by our side. I know it hasn't been easy. Both of our schedules don't always gel. He lives on the other side of the city from where I live, so it's hard for him to get over here to do this. I keep trying to convince him to move over by me. Hey, this is a good part of town. Move on over here. So that way it's a little closer. We can get this stuff done.
Yeah.
But I'm going to continue looking into trying to get that done. Ultimately, what we may have to do is do pre-recorded where we dissect videos, initially. Yeah. And then the day we can, I think you have to have so many views or subscribers, one of the two with YouTube to go live. Now, there's other platforms you can.
Yeah.
But YouTube is the most common and the most accepted and the most used. So I'd like to get to that point. And I'm not sure what we have to do that. I have to look into that.
I have to look it up. Yeah.
So that's the goal, guys. We want to grow this audience. Please pass it out. Please share this. Send the link to your friends. Tell them to subscribe to YouTube. Don't just watch it. Actually subscribe to the channel. I'd like to do more. I'd like to get some maybe, well, I don't want to say videos of us in action because then that displays our agency patch.
Yeah.
Which is not a great idea right now. Maybe a montage video. I don't know. I have ideas floating around, but a lot of it, A, is money because it's not cheap to get done. B is time. Don't have a lot of that either. I'm a full-time investigator. I don't have a lot of time in the world. In fact, last week I got 20 hours alone in overtime off that case I was telling you about. So I don't always have the time to dedicate to this. And plus, I have other outside things going on in my life. So But good tip for all the officers out there is have something else in your life besides work that keeps you busy. Don't focus solely. This job it's your job. Yeah, it's a profession, but it's not your life.
Yeah.
Get off work, be off work.
Yeah.
Take the blue line stickers off your car. Take the bumper stickers off your car with your agency patch. Like, off duty, just be a person.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, you should have your badge, credentials, and weapon on you, but no one should ever see it unless you need to bring it out because you just bring attention to yourself. So if you're like one of those dumbass rookies that walks around as soon as they get their badge and they got it clipped to their belt and their gun on their side in public, yeah, legally can you? Sure you can. Should you be doing that? No, because you're inviting problems because now you're visible, and as soon as something goes down, well, there's a cop right there, and you're like,
Hey,
I'm just having a burger.
try and get that freebie off duty, that Whataburger.
I wish that was a joke. Unfortunately, it's not, and we've actually had officers do that.
I still remember the guy who, because this is back in the county jail. No gun in the holster, but the whole uniform on.
Just to get free food.
Just to get that 50% off, man.
Idiot. How does that look to the public? You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, the overtime case week before last. This week I spent with the cadets teaching, and I went over a lot of this stuff. Like, don't use your badge to get free stuff. That's not what it's for. Go into a restaurant expecting to pay full fucking price. Do not say a word if they don't give you the discount. Just shut up and pay for your fucking food. Don't be that guy at the counter in uniform with your car. Hey, where's my discount? I'm a cop.
I know.
That looks horrible.
It looks so disgusting. You're just sitting there arguing for a discount.
Like, dude, the people behind you, someone starts pulling their phone out, and then they send that video and they ain't going to send it to your admin first. It's going to go on Facebook or Instagram first or TikTok. Then your agency's going to find out about it because for those that don't realize this, larger agencies, they usually have someone that monitors social media full time.
Oh, yeah.
And they're assigned to do that. Any mention of that agency, they pull it and watch it. And if it's something that they know is going to be a problem, they immediately run up the flagpole. And usually the guy who does that has a direct line to the chief or the sheriff, like a direct line. Like, hey, chief, I saw a video of one of our officers kicking a handcuffed suspect in the face. We might want to get on this now.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And all of a sudden you're out in the field, get a call. Come back to headquarters. Want to explain this? So just don't do it. Just pay your $12 for your number 2. And be done with it.
Or go home and eat a sandwich. Or
go home and eat a sandwich.
If you're fiending and struggling that bad for a discount, probably should go home and look in your fridge.
Yeah, maybe you should go shopping and actually meal prep. Now, I hate meal prepping, but I also keep my peace about discounts. So whatever, I eat the food and move on with my life. Yeah. Of course, fast food has gotten incredibly expensive. I mean, it ain't what it used to be. I remember 4 tacos from Taco Bell was like $4. Now it's like $12. I'm like, for 4 tacos?
Hell yeah.
What's in these damn things? Like, they better be gold. But that's just the nature of everything these days. Our checks do not ever catch up to inflation. It's just not going to happen.
I like the cost of living raises. They're at the percentage is not really.
Yeah, 1%. Well, that's not covering a squat. But people have to understand how budgeting works. Our budgeting source is not infinite because there's so many other things. So let's say you work for. Let's just use a county agency as an example. They get their funding from the general funds, from the county taxes that county pulls in from real estate and businesses and so on and so forth. But your agency is not the only agency that's got to be paid. There's public works. There's roads that got to be taken care of and maintained. The money has to get out there. None of this is free. It's being paid for out of some budget somewhere. So when you have your agency and then the sheriff or the union goes to commissioner's court and says, hey, we need 40 more people. What they have to factor in with each officer is healthcare, pay, base pay, healthcare, incentive pay, and they have to factor all that in. So if you look at your total compensation statement from your agency, it doesn't match what you make, but they're factoring in healthcare costs, everything else. So they have to go, okay, well, if each officer total costs $100,000 and you're asking for 40 more times $100,000, and that's every year because now we've hired them. We can't just fire them when the money runs out.
Yeah.
Now they have to budget that for the rest of the time. So every time you go and ask for more vehicles, more equipment, more people, they have to budget that in. So that's why it's not so simple as just, we need 20 more officers, hire them. You have to get the spots approved by your commissioner's court or city. So your city council has to approve this because it's going to cost money. And then every rank, we need 30 more officers, but we also need 4 more sergeants and 2 more lieutenants and another captain spot. Okay, well, the captain spot's probably going to be 160, 170,000 by the time that's done with everything. And the lieutenant spot's probably about 140. And then the sergeant spot's about 130. So you have to factor that in annually for the rest of the agency, like, period, every year.
Yeah.
So that's what these costs come in that people don't realize. And then cars. These cars, if they're Tahoes, it costs about 100 grand fully loaded. And then the Explorers cost about 60, 55 grand fully loaded. And that's the cage, CAD, radio, radar, all that crap. Now, the Explorer is a better deal, but it's a unibody. You bend it, it's done. That's it. Tahoe is not a unibody. So if you fuck the front end up, you can just place the front end and move on. So there's pluses and minuses to each one of those cars.
Yeah.
The Explorers are an all-wheel drive with the sport track. They're pretty sporty, little speedy little fuckers. But to me, they're too small compared to the Tahoe. I'm used to a Tahoe, been in a Tahoe from the beginning, and I like a full-size Tahoe.
Right.
But they're 100 grand fully loaded, outfitted cage, CAD, radio, radar, weapon mounts. You know, if you're an agency that has the ballistic doors or the ballistic windows,
Oh yeah,
like
I've seen,
DPS
but yeah.
like state police moved over to ballistic windows. Good.
They got
Heavy as hell though.
They got a nice, vast, wide, like monetary pool to pull from that.
They got state funding.
Your
so-
local department, they may just afford the window.
Yep. You might just have only the
ballistic
windshield.
window. Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's and that's reality. So while it's easy for people to judge, oh, they're not paying them a lot, or oh, they're not giving them all the best equipment. Well, it's money, and it's just money's what it is. Now, fire is different. If you look at your county tax breakdowns or your city tax breakdowns, you're going to have a spot specifically for funding directly to fire and EMS.
Yeah, public safety.
Public safety, but that doesn't include law enforcement. Public safety is fire and EMS.
That is true. I've seen that. I've like prior agency. I've seen that like during a city council meeting where they break down budget matters. Police is always in its own budget, and then like you said, public safety is fire and EMS.
Yeah, but their funding source comes directly from the taxes, and there's already a percentage of those taxes already set aside for fire and EMS. So that's why they get the brand new fire station every 10 feet, $1 million fire engines, the lazy boys, the 100-inch TVs, the private bedrooms, the badass kitchen with barbecues. Now, granted, they're there for 3 days at a time.
Yeah.
This is where they're living. They got to eat, they got to sleep, and I get it. Us, we don't have that.
Gotta have somewhere to put your feet up and play.
Yeah,
and like
you got to play some video games, right?
shoot each other with splatter balls.
Absolutely. But they're living there
Yeah.
for 72 hours. Now, there has been talk, and I've heard it, about allowing law enforcement to go to 24-hour shifts. I don't think that's a good idea at all. Now, they're like, well, then you work 24 on, take a day off, or 24 on, 2 days off, 24 on, 2 days off, or however they want to do it, and makes up to 40 hours. You're only going to work maybe 2-3 days in an entire week. But 24 hours, you are exhausted, dangerous, fatigued. Now, I'm like, okay, you don't expect them to be in that tower for 24 hours. Like, that's not feasible. They're like, no, we'd have a station. They come back here and sleep. And we just rotate people onto the street. Hey, I need to sleep when we go back. I'm like, maybe there needs to be a test case, honestly. That's where it's going to have to figure out and work the kinks out of that. Because law enforcement is not fire and EMS.
I think there's, man, I'd have to look it up on my phone. There is a department, I think, where their fire, their police and their fire are interchangeable. Let me.
Have you
look
ever
that
heard
up.
of Guns and Hoses at JFK Airport?
Because I've seen that. No, I've never heard that before.
Okay, Guns and Hoses is an elite unit at JFK Airport, and they all started out, if memory serves, and if we got any listeners that were part of Guns and Hoses or ESU in New York, don't blast me. You had to be a Port Authority police officer, and then you had to be pretty well thought of, and then you get ESU trained, and then you become firefighters. So theoretically, the Guns and Hoses out of JFK Airport can handle everything from hijacking to an aircraft fire to a medical emergency, but they're cops.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also firemen and medics and ESU and everything.
Right.
It's called Guns and Hoses. I don't know if it still exists, but it's called Guns and Hoses. So that's an agency that does all 3 in 1. And they must be hard to work with because you got 3 high testosterone, high speed professions all in one person. Like, I imagine that's some egos clashing.
Oh yeah, like.
But JFK, I imagine, has that kind of funding, because you have NYPD, then you have Port Authority Police. They're not the same.
Yeah.
Port Authority has the subways, tunnels, tolls, airports. Port Authority is that. they work right alongside NYPD because you also had New York Housing Authority PD. I don't know if that still exists. Did you find an agency that does that?
Mm-hmm.
What agency
So it
combines
says
them?
Highland Park Department of Public Safety in Texas fully blends law enforcement, firefighting, and EMS into a single agency. Officers and their operations division are cross-trained in all three disciplines and work the 24 on, 48 off firefighter shift model. So I knew there was an agency out there somewhere. Apparently, it's here in Texas. That doesn't surprise me at all. But I wonder. Well, number one, I don't know the size of Highland Park as far as city wise. The size of all of the agencies like prior to full integration, and I wonder how long they've actually been doing it. But that's interesting though, because I don't know. Like,
I wonder. So 24 on, 48 off. I wonder if like today you're police, and next shift you're going to be on fire, and next shift you're going to be on EMS. Do they rotate around maybe?
mm-hmm.
I don't know how you would do 24 hours on unless you have enough manning where half the shift can come back and kind of like sleep.
Yeah.
While the other half is out, and then you swap like every 12 hours you swap, but everybody's there kind of thing. I don't know. I'm really kind of curious. If anybody listening actually is Highland Park, drop us an email because I'm really kind of curious. I'd like to talk to someone from Highland Park and see how that works. That's pretty cool. Now, I think that wouldn't work for an agency like Dallas. That's huge. Houston, that's huge. I mean, those agencies are so large. I don't know if they could do that. That might be more suited to like a smaller agency.
Yeah, so I'm just like preliminary info. Highland Park is pretty much a suburb, it's like a suburb inside Dallas.
Okay.
So it's a small municipality inside Dallas, but inside Dallas County.
Okay.
Right. So they got about 9,000 people population.
Oh, okay,
so
that's how you can do it.
I can see why like it's easier to do because let's say if we try to do that with our agency, I don't see that happening
feasible.
at all.
It's just not feasible.
It's just not feasible because
we have a massive agency in a huge county, and
you have to build so many different stations all over the county, and then like you said, it's just how will the officers like? Well, number one, you got to fully cross-train them to be firefighters and EMT certified, right? Paramedic level 1 and 2.
Talk about funding. Talk about money.
Yeah, it would be a whole lot.
That would cost millions to do. Millions, plus the time factor.
It'd be easy to metro.
So think about
the metro to county before doing something like that.
And so where I was originally from was Sacramento, in Northern California, and they had the smaller municipalities inside Sac County, and then they went metro.
Right.
And their fire went metro. I think now their police is metro, so I think you just have Sacramento Police Department and Sacramento County Sheriffs. I think that's the only two you got now. The difference was they're all trained to the same standard, so they just absorbed those agencies and took their funding and just made them all either Sacramento Police Department or Sacramento Sheriffs. But Sac Sheriff and Sac PD work together. Same CAD system, same radio system, same report system. Like they work together. They don't bump heads like a lot of other agencies do. They actually all get along pretty well. I like that model because you should work together. You all got the same turds you're dealing with. Just because they cross into the city doesn't mean all of a sudden he's a good boy.
Yeah.
Like they need to work together where sheriff can work a case and go, well, let me see. Oh, city's dealt with this dude like 100 times. Let me read his reports and see where city's dealt with this guy before, and vice versa. I'd like to see more integration like that between local or city and county because we all got to work together.
Right.
We're all in the same county. State police always going to do their own thing. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But they have a different function, honestly.
Yeah.
Now, DPS has been talking about changing on their cars because on their cars says highway patrol. But they've been talking about changing it to state police on their cars because they're state cops. I mean, they are state police officers. They usually say, oh, I'm Trooper so-and-so with the highway patrol. But in all reality, they're an officer with the state police. That's what they are. They're state police officers. So they're talking about changing that in DPS. But again, that's money. Just think of how many police cars they have to change from where it says highway patrol to state police on them. I mean, just that funding alone, just to do that would cost millions just to change business cards. And I mean, people don't think about that. Like, this isn't as easy as people think. Everything costs money and it comes from somewhere. So that's not what we wanted to talk about today.
It's not a bad topic, though.
But it kind of just went off on a tangent like we tend to do. My ADD. I don't know what HD is, but I got 80 of them bitches. But what we wanted to talk about today and what we were trying to talk about last week was over and over, I keep hearing the phrase, the job is dead. The job is dead. Law enforcement is dead. I can agree with that to an extent. I don't think it's as bad as all that, but I don't think it's as great as it used to be. So just like make America great again, make law enforcement great again. Let us do our job. The problem why people say this job is dead is you have officers scared to put their hands on people when they need to. I'm not saying run around and kick people's asses. That's not what I'm saying. But there's a time and a place that is appropriate, and you have to do that. You cannot arrest a violent subject peacefully. It doesn't work that way. If they've chosen to be violent, being nice is not going to get them into custody. They've made the choice to be violent. Now you have to exceed that aggression level to get them into custody. You can't meet it, you exceed it. Just like force, we don't meet their force, we exceed their force because we have to win. Get them into custody. Or if they're trying to kill you, they pull a knife, you're not going to pull a taser. If you're by yourself, you better not pull a fucking taser if they pull a kniff. Like, if you have enough officers, maybe someone can try to tase them and try to non-lethal it. But if you're by yourself, don't you be dragging no damn taser out for a fucking knife. What the hell's wrong with you? That's how you get stabbed.
There's plenty of videos on that, yeah.
Yeah, then you can't count on the taser probes. They get stuck in a belt or they miss. Like that's I'm not risking my life on a taser shot. I don't think so. You pull a knife, I'm pulling a gun. What does Sean Connery say? They pull a knife, you pull a gun, they shoot one of yours, you kill one of theirs. Like, I'm not saying right now, again, I'm not condoning around just killing people. That's not what I'm saying. But officers now are so scared to pull their gun. Because you get these agencies that every time you put your weapon out of your holster, you need a use of force report. Okay, so when I walk up on a car at 2 a.m. and I have my gun down by my side, I'm not pointing at anybody, but it's out of my holster just in case this goes south and I can react faster when it's already out of my holster. I got a right to use of force report because I pulled it out of my holster. Like, that's asinine. And officers like, I don't want to write reports, so I'm not pulling this weapon. And that's just, it causes a slowdown.
Yeah.
We hate writing reports as cops as it is. So you're telling me every time I do a traffic stop in the middle of the night and I got my gun down by my side or during the day when I can tell it's a car full of known, not great individuals, I can't have my gun out. I'm going to have to write a use of force report. I can see if I pointed at somebody, that's a use of force. That is a use of force. You're pointing a deadly weapon at somebody. That is a use of force. Outside law enforcement, that'd be aggravated assault.
Yeah.
So that's use of force. But just having it down my leg as I'm walking up on a car is not a use of force. So making them write a use of force report is asinine because you're going to get that mindset, don't draw this weapon, don't draw this weapon, don't draw this weapon. When you start doing that, you scare officers into not doing the things that protect them and make them go home at the end of the day. So I don't think the job is dead, but it's definitely not doing great. And a lot of it is fear driven. Yeah. Officers are scared that I'm going to get in trouble. We're not scared about getting killed. Like, we're cops. We've all kind of made peace with that for the most part. Uvalde notwithstanding, those jackasses. Outside of that, we're aware that every day we could be shot or killed in this job. We know that. We've kind of made peace with that. What we don't want to be is barbecued in the news, shamed, head to IA, possibly suspended or fired because we had a use of force that they didn't agree with or the public didn't agree with and got loud about. So the sheriff or the chief goes, hey, let's just fire this guy. So hey, we're sorry about that. All that does is show the other officers, like, hey, don't get aggressive. Don't be proactive. Don't go out and look for bad guys anymore. Just stay in your car and take your calls. If a car full of gangbangers goes by, let it go.
Yeah.
And that's what's killing this job. That's what's killing this job. And as the old school fades out, because they're coming up on retirement, you're going to get that younger crowd, and it goes in waves like this. Yeah. That's normal, that's usual. But that's so dangerous. It is such a dangerous, scary thought process that you're going to force officers to make a choice between keeping themselves safe and doing their job. And officers are going to pick, I'm going to keep myself safe.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. And so criminals know this, and they're taking advantage of this, and they're using that to their advantage. Like, they get bolder and bolder and bolder and bolder, and it's like kids. You can compare criminals to kids. If you discipline your children from the start, they know what the rules are, and you enforce them, you don't have problems as they get older.
Right.
But if you allow them to be turds and do them whatever they want and give them whatever they want and spoil them and be their friend and not their parent, by the time they become a teenager, you kind of set that pattern, and good luck changing it now. Well, criminals are the same. If they came down on with 2 feet every time they broke the law, they'd be less likely to do it because they know the consequences will be there. They will happen. You will serve time, whether it's jail or prison. You're going to serve time for it. Well, now they're like, I'm going to get probation. It's not that big a deal. I'll get probation, no biggie. I'll get deferred adjudication. I'll get suspended sentence. Where's the fear? There's no fear factor anymore. And because of that, the job is starting to die. And as the old hats all die out and promote off or retire outright because they've been offered 25, 30 years, now we got this new generation that was raised from the start. Be scared. Don't draw your weapon. Don't put your hands on anybody. Don't be proactive. Don't go looking for crime. Don't stop this car and then find a reason to search it. Take your calls and go home. Well, criminals know that now. So they're banking on that, and they're counting on you to be lazy and go, I don't want to get involved. I don't know how many times I've walked up on a car, and I know in their head they're like, I hope this officer's lazy today. And I'm not. I'd be like, hey, so I see the marijuana pipe in the center console, and I do smell it in the car. All right, guys, hey, start with a couple more units. Let's everybody start getting out, have a seat on the curb, pat them down for weapons, sit them on the curb, keep your hands, sit on your hands. And if I didn't have enough units in me, I'd make them sit on their hands until I got to the units there, and then we get everybody cuffed. And then I'm searching the car. Oh, look, guns. Oh, they're stolen. Anybody in possession of a stolen firearm is probably not on the way to do something good with it.
Right.
And this is where people have to factor in, like, oh, they're just messing with them. No, it's called proactive policing. Our job is we can't prevent crime, but we can try and slow it the fuck down.
Yeah.
And maybe, look, cars are used to commit crimes. They go to committing crimes, come back from committing crimes, or use the car itself to commit the crime. So that's why traffic stops are so vital. It's not just, I'm stopping you for speed. There's so many more things you can use traffic stops for.
Yeah.
And they're not using that to their advantage. And they think, well, I have to be interdiction. No, you don't. Every traffic stop's interdiction, whether you're in an interdiction unit or not. That's what interdiction is. You're intercepting crime, whether that be drugs, guns, child pornography, money laundering, whatever the hell it is, or you find the guy with a warrant. Because it's funny, these guys with felony warrants drive like total jackasses. Like, if I had a felony warrant, I'd be 2 and 10, signaling 200 yards out. I wouldn't be driving like a fucking jackass. I don't want attention. My lights would all be working. My registration would be up to date. I don't want to give you any reason to stop me. But these idiots will drive with taillights out, speeding, cutting cars off, not signaling, no seatbelt on, and then shocked when they get pulled over and found. Like, warrants for the most part, unless it's like a major crime like murder or ag robbery or aggravated sexual assault of a child, generally we're not looking for you. We enter the warrant and know eventually you're going to come into contact with law enforcement at some point, and we'll get you into custody. And then what I'll do is I'll just put a bolo on that warrant. Contact me if found, and I'll come in and interview him. Even on my day off, I'll get dressed and I'll go downtown and I'll interview him unless they don't want to talk to me. So I'll ask him before I come down there. Ask him if he wants to talk to me. No, he doesn't? Cool, book him in. Oh, he does? Damn it. Okay, take him downtown and I'll meet you downtown. You know?
I want to clarify something. Those warrants that he just described, we have a section that, law enforcement generally just have a section where it's dedicated to looking for people who have those type of warrants.
Yeah.
I don't want this to say like, oh, they just said they're not looking for those warrants, those heinous crimes.
Yeah, let me clarify.
No, that's not what he meant.
The priority with the warrant units is going to be the violent crimes first. So, like, okay, if this guy's wanted for murder and this guy's wanted for fraud, which one do you think they're going to try to find first?
We're going to find the murderer first.
Now, if they can't find the murderer, then they can start going down the list of severity. But the top, like the capital warrants, first-degree felony warrants, especially for violence, they're first. You just don't have 50 warrants guys that run around all day long looking for people. You got about 8.
Yeah.
So order of priority, order of severity of crime. But we know as investigators, when I enter the warrant in the system, I'm going to send the info off to the warrants units like, hey, see if you can find this guy. And they're going to try to find you. They'll go to your house. They'll go to your place of business. They don't find you there. It just kind of starts going to the back burner. You know, the severities first. Now, if this is a major crime, like it's a homicide of a child, they're going to get far more resources for that. That's a truly dangerous individual, and we need to get them off the street. So you're also going to get the gang unit to give you a hand, and the undercovers and street crimes. They're all going to give you a hand.
Yeah.
But if it's just, hey, it's felony family violence, not that that's not important, because it is. But that's going to be less severe than capital murder, sexual assault of a child, aggravated robbery. Those are dangerous, truly, truly dangerous people that you need to get off the street now. Yes, the guy with the felony violence warrant is dangerous, but he's dangerous to one person. Now, I'm not saying that person's any less a victim, and I'm not saying that person isn't entitled to protection. Everybody's entitled to equal protection under the law.
Yep.
But it's severity.
Yeah.
It's manning. Yeah, it'd be great to have a patrol section with 1,000, officers that could just swarm the entire area, and 500 warrants guys. That's all they do all day long is just go pick up warrants all day long, and get them booked in. That sounds great. That's fantastic. Well, here's the real world. This isn't Los Angeles. This isn't Los Angeles Sheriff's Office. It's not Chicago PD, New York PD. We don't have those kind of manning. We don't have those kind of people. I think the largest police agency in Texas is Houston PD. I think is the largest. And that's just because of sheer size.
Yeah.
But they also have the constables and the sheriff's office as well.
Yeah.
Now, it's kind of flip-flopped in Harris County than it is kind of other counties. Harris County SO doesn't really do the same things that the constables do. The constables there actually do the majority of the policing in the unincorporated areas of Harris County. That's unusual for Texas. Because Texas, usually the SO is the big dog, and the constables handle the civil stuff. Yes, they still do criminal, but primarily it's handled by the sheriff's office. Harris County is a little different. Harris County is more, we take care of the jails, but they do have a patrol function, and they do have a gang unit, and they do have detectives, but by and large, it's the constables in that precinct. They have 7 or 8?
They have 8 of them.
7 or 8 precincts. I mean, but they're on contract. That's a whole different ball. It's a whole different ball of wax. I went to a school out there where I actually sat down with them and I asked them, how's this shit work here? Because where I'm from, it doesn't work that way. And they broke it down and explained how it works. And it works. I mean, it works for them. But the sheer size and population of Harris County is just massive.
It's huge county.
Huge. So I think that's the largest agency in Texas is the Houston Police Department. I think the largest SO, I'll say last I heard it was Dallas or Tarrant. It was one of the two. Huge sheriff's office. And then Austin PD is pretty damn large. Dallas PD is pretty huge. Fort Worth, San Antonio PD is pretty damn large. I don't know how big El Paso PD is, but El Paso is a decent sized city, but it's still got a small town feel. It's probably not more than 300,000, 400,000 in El Paso. So I don't know. I don't know much about them. I know I like their attitudes in El Paso. They don't play no games in El Paso PD. They don't play no games. I know a lot of people from El Paso, and I like El Paso. I've been to El Paso. I thought about going to El Paso Sheriff's Office or El Paso PD because they get down. Those two agencies gets down. They don't play. But again, the job might be more dead depending on the demographic and politics of your county, too. If you're in a really red county with a red district attorney and a red sheriff and red judges who actually believe in law and order and a population that believes in law and order that's willing to help you, those officers can probably get down and get it done. And there's some agencies that refuse to have body cameras. No, we're not doing it. Now, Texas became law. They have to.
Yeah.
But there's still some agencies in Florida where it's not required, and the sheriff's like, no, I trust my officers. Go do your job. I don't agree with that, and solely for the reason that body cameras have done a lot of things for us. It has lowered the complaint rate big time, because now the way internal affairs typically do it is if they get a complaint, they used to just call you in. Now the first thing they do is go to your footage. If there's footage, they'll watch the footage, and if it turns out that no, you didn't actually do what they said you did, you may never even hear about it. They just call them back and go, you lied, we had the footage, click. Or you may get a proactive IA that goes, yeah, come on in, write a statement. And they'll come in, and the last paragraph on that statement sheet is, by my signature, I am affirming that everything in here is true and accurate to the best of my knowledge under penalty of perjury. And they make them sign it, and then go, okay, so you're saying this happened? Yeah. Well, let's watch the video. And they go, uh-oh. Yeah, you fucked up. Because now they got you for filing a false report and maybe even perjury if they want to push it that far. Yeah. I would say bring in a clerk, swear him in, and do it with a clerk there. Now it's aggravated perjury because you swore. That's a sworn statement. You swore in on your testimony. Right hand. Not left hand. Right hand. You swore in. I think that's a great idea. Swear him in. I guarantee you, you start publicizing assholes who lied just because they're pissed off and they didn't want their ticket or whatever the hell it was. You barbecue a few on the news and you charge them perjury, the rest of them will start thinking twice about it. But the people who truly were wrong will still come forward because they're like, it's on camera. I know it happened. It's on this camera. And then RIA would be like, yep, that's legit. The officer did really do X, Y, Z. Okay, now we're going to barbecue that officer.
Right.
So because accountability has to go both directions. Can't just we're always accountable. They're not. No, it's got to go both directions. The public has to be just as accountable as we do. I'm all about officer accountability. All about it. I don't agree with hiding this crap. I don't agree with officers getting away with crap. No, you're officers of the law. You violated that oath. You pissed on your oath, and I agree. You should burn for it. 100%. You knew better, and you did it anyway. I have no sympathy for you. You deserve everything coming your way. But at the same time, the public needs to be held just as accountable. Okay, we have not lost the right to govern ourselves. We've not lost the right as police officers to enforce the law, and people have not lost the right to be safe in their possessions and their life. It should be both directions though. It's got to be accountable, and that's all races, all ethnicities, all genders. Period. We're all accountable. End of story. But for some reason, the public can lie about what we did all day long and get away with it. No one ever does shit about it. We lie, we're fucked. Now, and we should be. Our credibility is the only thing that matters to us. But this guy has made 5 false complaints against law enforcement that we've proven are false. Like, when is he actually going to finally face a consequence for lying about it? And wasting our time. So 1, you wasted our time. 2, we are forced to investigate something that didn't actually happen. Yep. And then you went to the news got a hold of it, made a big stink about it, and then we come out with, nope, this is what happened. Here's what happened. And the public's like, oh my God, they're covering it up. It's a conspiracy. There's no winning. Let's just be honest. There's no winning with this stuff. But that's what's happening. And, that's the 3rd member of our cast. You ain't met him. That's Jax. He's an honorary officer. He's very vicious. He's a hell of a canine. He makes enough noise for 10 dogs when he's trying to scare me or let me know that there's something there that scares him. He's our vicious little canine. Doesn't do drug detection, won't do attack, but he'll stand there and bark at you. Will you do cadaver? What do you think, Jax? So he likes to be up here. If we don't bring him up here with us, he will sit downstairs and cry at the gate. So we bring him in here. Hopefully that'll keep him from doing that. And he just likes to be around his humans. He loves him some J-Man. But I don't think the job is dead. I just think the way we're approaching it has killed some of the effectiveness of it. And I think that's what they mean by the job is dead. The effectiveness is going away.
Yeah.
I don't want people to fear me. That's not what I want. I want people to walk up and go, oh my God, it's a cop. I don't want that. But I do want the criminals to fear the consequences of their actions. And us are the physical manifestation of the consequences of your actions.
Right.
I want them to fear it. But I don't want the regular public to fear me at all. That's not what I want. I've heard that before. You just want me to be scared of you. No, I don't. This isn't 1939 Germany. No, I don't want you to fear me. I don't want you to fear your government. I want the government to fear you. And that's the whole purpose of it. Limited government. So the government should be scared of the people. The people should never fear their government. I'm part of that government. I don't want you to fear me. I want you to respect me and what I have to do in this line of work. I'm not asking you to idolize me. I'm not asking you to worship me. And I damn sure don't want you to be scared of me. Okay? But you as a society need to help us.
Right.
You're the one out there. You know who's doing what. You know, if you're in the streets, who's doing what. I guarantee you have information. But you're either, fuck the police, no face, no case, bullshit. But then you'll cry about the crime rate being through the roof. Okay, well, what have you done to help me? Where have you given me the information I need to actually effectively knock this down? Like I said, we can't stop crime. There is no pre-crime. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
But effective, proactive policing can knock it down and kind of force these cockroaches back into the dark. That's where they belong, But now they're so bold, they just do it on public. We had a bank robbery the other day in broad daylight. They ran in with masks in broad daylight through the parking lot into the bank, robbed the place, luckily no one was hurt, and then ran back out. Broad daylight. Now, I'm not saying it's unusual because that happens in Boston, LA. Any big city is going to have bank robberies. I mean, but it's mind-boggling how many people probably actually saw them run in there.
Yeah.
And didn't call.
Oh, sure.
Like, not my business.
Yeah.
Not my concern. The sooner you call us, the better our odds of getting there. Maybe we'll catch them. I will say, for all officers listening, a bank robbery is probably one of your higher, probably going to do a shootout calls you're going to get into. So
Oh yeah,
be cautious.
they're
If
all
you're
armed.
approaching them, they're amped up, they're all armed. They realize, oh, fuck, we're federally fucked.
Yeah,
Like if you rob a bank, so the way it works, and people don't realize that, for the FBI to get involved in a bank robbery, there has to be branches outside that state. It has to be a national bank system. If it's a state bank, like it's only in that state, the FBI is not going to get involved because it's not outside that state. It's
'cause
not.
now they would
It's not
be
national.
now the bank robbers would be interfering with commerce, right? That's what makes it outside of it being FDIC, but it'd be interfering with commerce because
Maybe.
if it's
Maybe that's
national,
why.
the money's moving from one place to another place, like in
Well,
one place from state to state.
take an example like Bank of America.
Yeah,
That's got branches in all 50 states. I mean, all 50, but I mean, you get my point. They're outside one state.
yeah,
FBI is going to get involved. But if it's like Texas is Frost Bank, there is no Frost Banks outside of Texas. So they get robbed, they're not going to turn it over to the FBI, but the Texas Rangers are probably going to take it.
Mhm.
So that's kind of the difference. But
Oh, okay.
I just wonder how many people in broad daylight saw these guys run in there with masks on, and they weren't wearing like COVID masks, they were wearing shiesties.
Cool.
Okay. Like, oh, they got guns and they're running this bank and the car's running out front. That looks like a robbery to me. I wonder how many people saw that, didn't bother calling 911. I don't want to be involved. They're going to come after me. No, they're not. They're not going to come after you. Okay. Criminals want you to think that because that's how they get their power. They have everyone scared they're going to come after them. Retaliation is actually really rare. Like, they know better. For the most part, they're like, hey, it's part of the game. We played it. We lost.
Mhm.
We got caught. They very rarely come after somebody who called 911 on them. They just don't. I can't even think of when that's actually happened anytime recently. Now, there may be a few instances where that person specifically, they know you, you know each other, and you dime somebody out. That might be different.
Yeah,
But if an average Joe's driving by and calls 911 and says, hey, I got 3 guys running into the bank, and they got masks on and guns, and there's a car running outside, they're not going to come find you later. You're not a key witness in that trial. Like,
right.
they're not worried about you. So they need to, if people stop fearing the criminals and start actually helping us, and the criminals realize that they can't intimidate the public anymore, it's amazing what happens
Yeah.
at that point. Because they realize they've lost that power to scare the public into keeping their mouth shut. Like, no, I'm not keeping my mouth shut. Nah, you did this. We saw you do it. No, motherfucker. No. And if people are willing to stand up to these assholes and go, hey, I see you. Now, will there be innocent people get killed occasionally? Yeah. I mean, that's the risk we take in this society that is armed.
Hmm.
I don't want that. I don't want any innocent person who's trying to do the right thing get hurt or killed. Absolutely not. But we all have to kind of take a risk in this world if we're all going to work together to stop this shit.
Hmm.
I'm sorry that I know you're not a cop. I'm not saying run through a wall of gunfire. That's not your job. But if you're a citizen that carries a weapon and you come across a violent crime, do what you have to do. Do what you feel is right. How would you want someone to help one of your family members or your kids if they're being robbed and you have a gun, you're standing there? Who says you can't draw your weapon? Drop the gun. If the guy runs away, the guy runs away. Okay, I'm not saying chase him down.
Yeah.
Okay, but you stopped it. That person didn't get hurt. This guy fled. Hey, are you okay? Let me call 911, tell him what I saw, the direction of travel of the guy and what he was wearing. And okay, great. Thanks for stepping in. I'm not saying chase him down the street. Don't get in your car and chase him. You're not a police officer.
Right.
You don't have lights and sirens. Don't do that. But you may have been able to actually prevent that violent crime, and you may prevent that person who was the victim from getting hurt because you interrupted it.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? But nobody wants to get involved. Hey, I don't want to get involved. Well, then why are you carrying a gun? You know, I bet you talk Billy Badass about how great a shot you are, and you can't wait privately with your friends to, oh, I can't wait to smoke somebody trying to rob me. But then there's somebody getting robbed, and you're like, I ain't getting involved.
Yeah, I guess just like that.
You talk big shit.
Yeah, like just like you said before, it's just don't want to get involved. It's not your problem, you know.
Yeah. I mean, and I understand there's a line between minding your own business and not getting involved. Okay. If you see someone getting hurt,
Hmm.
would you want other people to watch as your family member got hurt?
Yeah.
Probably not. Like, why didn't you stop him? Hey, I didn't want to get involved. It wasn't my business. But that was my sister. Okay, well, it's not my sister.
Yeah.
Or we all work together. Like, hey, you and I don't know you, and you don't know me, but we just saw that guy. That guy's pulling a gun. You armed? All right, hey, let's put a stop to this shit. Drop the gun and he takes off running. Ma'am, are you okay? 911, be a good citizen, call it in and give a statement. And you've done your part. That's what we expect you to do. I do not expect you to chase somebody down the street. Please don't do that. Okay? It's kind of like where someone witnesses a violent crime and then follows the car right behind him on the phone 911. 911's going to tell you, back off. Don't get yourself killed over this. The guy's going to reach back. Oh, you want to follow me? And fire a few rounds your direction. Might hit you. You may get very lucky. Or you may just need a new windshield. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Or while he's firing at you, he kills the old lady in the car behind you.
Yeah.
There's a balance to this stuff. You got to have a balance. But criminals need to understand and fear the public will chase them down, will call us, will give a statement, will point him out in the lineup. Go, no, that was him. That was him right there. Number 3. That was number 3. That's what the criminals need to fear, but they don't fear that anymore because too many people have the I don't want to be involved mentality. I wasn't part of this. I don't want to be involved. Leave me out of it. And that is just such a heartbreaking thing to me, honestly, anymore, because it's killing the fabric of our society. Well, when you transfer that same thought process into law enforcement, who's supposed to be doing this, and they have badges on for a reason, they swore an oath and received a commission from their state, and they're no longer willing to step in either because, hey, I might get hurt or I might get burned, fabric of society starts telling itself apart. Mm-hmm. And, of course, groups like Antifa, fuck every one of those little cocksuckers. That's what they want.
A couple of them just got federally sentenced.
Federally sentenced. Yeah, they FBI report. They got federally fucked and good.
They got some time. Like 10 to 17 of them.
They got some good time, man. That was a kind of a warning shot. Like, no, you don't get to get away with doing stupid shit like that and go, oh, we're just protesting. No, there's a difference between protesting and violence. Well, not the same.
Antifa makes it clear that their political philosophy is governmental change through violence.
Through violence, yeah, governmental change through violence.
That you can vote in change, or you can political action committee, or walking door to door by change. It's no, we're gonna baseball bat you to the head, and we're gonna throw bombs, it's a play, and bricks, and
off of Islam,
all kinds of stuff at the crowds. That's what they believe in.
Islam has stated they want to take over the world, and they want to take it over by bullet or ballot. Well, Antifa's kind of picked up a lot of the same. Hey, by the bullet or by the ballot, we're going to change things to what we want. Now, they are they're a minority. They're just loud, but they are a minority. The average person does not agree with them. The average person just wants to be left alone to live their life.
Yeah.
Leave me alone to live my life. I want to go to work, come home, go have my beer occasion, drive my nice car, and be just left the fuck alone. That's what most people want. And by and large, law enforcement does not contact everybody. Okay, there's some people who've gone their whole life, never been pulled over.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Or never had a run-in with law enforcement because they go home, they go to work, they do their job, and they don't get in trouble. And those are the ones we don't ever deal with. Or those are the people that the only time they have to deal with law enforcement is because someone stole their credit card, or they burglarized their car.
Yeah.
And the officer comes, takes the report, moves on with their life. And whatever happens later happens at a higher level than the street officer who took the report. They're like, okay, whatever. But by and large, a lot of the public doesn't really interact with law enforcement, but they start getting swayed by what happens in social media with law enforcement. They start thinking, oh, God, I could be next. I could be attacked. We're not. We don't run up and just nightstick people for no reason. That's not how this works, and it never has worked that way. And this ICE crap, they're not going after just regular Joes. These are people that, A, are illegal here by nature, so they're doing their job of removing them because that is their job. That's what they're paid to do. And then a lot of these guys that they're going after have violent histories. We're kicking them out for a reason. They're not, well, I would have said 5 years ago they weren't going after the average guy just putting food on the table. Now I guess they kind of are. But again, that is their job. You chose to come here illegally knowing that could be the penalty if you got caught. But these last 2 shootings, the feds handle things differently than we handle things differently. And they're not trained to the same standard we are. They don't go to the same academies we do. You might have been an IRS criminal agent for 20 years. You moved over to ICE. And they sent you to FLETC in Glencoe for 6 weeks and said, okay, now go do street work. And they have no idea how to do traffic stops. They don't have the same training we do. They don't have the same experience we do. I'm not saying they don't know their job that they were in. But traffic stops is a whole different ball of wax. You're traffic stopping dangerous people that do not want to go back home. They don't want to be caught for whatever it is they're doing. That dude in the ice cream truck, they found meth in it. A decent amount of meth. Yeah, they shot him, and that sucks. I'm sure they didn't plan on doing that. They don't want to do that. But the guy's actions caused the whole thing to unfold that way. But what they find in the ice cream truck? Meth.
Oh, the only ice shootings I heard about was the one in Maine, the one in Houston, and the one in Pennsylvania. It's just I don't even know what the one in Pennsylvania is about.
I don't know what that one's. I think the one in Houston was the one who had the meth.
No, I think that was the
Was that the one in Maine?
was the mistaken identity. They were looking for a car, and the guy that actually got shot looked similar to the one they were looking for. It was a case of mistaken identity.
Oh.
But they were saying he used the car as a weapon. Don't know. I don't know. I don't even like talking about the ICE thing.
I know.
It's just because it's
such a flammable, volatile subject these days.
It's just
and
I don't know
because I'm not ICE. That's not my job. Okay, if you're a victim and you're illegal, well, I don't care about your immigration status. You're a victim, and I'm going to get you justice because you shouldn't have been assaulted or whatever it was. And I don't care if you're from Guatemala or Argentina or Colombia. I don't care. You're a victim. At the same time, suspects that are from other countries, I don't want them getting deported before they face their justice here. No, because they're just going to sneak right back in. No. They need to go to prison here for the violent crime they committed. Now, when we're done with the sentence, bon voyage. Put them on the next flight out. Get them out of the country. But I don't want them escaping justice here by just fleeing home and then sneak back in a couple years later. No, I got a problem with that too.
Mm-hmm.
But for those that don't know, if you're a victim of a crime and you're not here legally, we can give you a U visa.
Yeah.
We can get you, as long as you cooperate with the case. And that's the key. You have to cooperate with the case. You have to testify and you have to cooperate, and then they'll do it.
That's written in Texas.
They're not just going to give you a U visa and then you get to just scot-free stay here. No, you got to do your part. You got to testify, cooperate with the investigators, cooperate with the prosecutors, and then cooperate with the court proceedings. But then they'll give you a U visa, and then you can stay because you were a victim, and we need you to stay and testify. If we weren't going to have you stay and testify, then yeah, we're probably going to boot you out. Like, well, you're not here legally, and a man or woman committed a crime against you. We need you to do your part and testify against this person. Well, I don't want to. Well, then, good luck. And we're going to kick your ass out of here because you're not fulfilling your end of the bargain. The social contract is you help us and we'll help you. If you don't help us, can't help you. We can only help those that help themselves. It's kind of like, and I parable this to the lottery parable. Man wakes up every day and asks God to help him win the lottery. And doesn't win the lottery. And the next day, same thing. Wakes up, Lord, please let me win the lottery. And the third day, Lord, help me win the lottery. And finally, God answers and goes, help me out and buy a lottery ticket. So we can't help you if you're not willing to help yourself. You've got to meet us in the middle here. You got to help us help you. You got to tell us what you saw, what you know, what you heard. You got to be willing to do these things or we can't help you. I get all the time with victims that on the scene initially, they're mad. I want to press charges. Oh, great. By the time I get the case a month later, because of the backlog, and I call them, you don't press charges? Well, what does that mean? Well, you're going to have to come to court because you witnessed it. We didn't. Like, you were there. Well, I don't. I mean, they're going to see me and know who I am? Yeah. They had the right to face their accuser in court. That's constitutional right to face their accuser. If you're going to accuse somebody of something, they have the right to look at you in court and ask you questions about what you saw, did, heard, so on and so forth. Oh, never mind. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now the case is closed, and that guy got away with it, and he only gets more bolder because, I got away with it.
Right.
He didn't stop me. That's my issue. So if you want to win the lottery, you got to buy a ticket. So that's the parable I use. Buy a ticket and help us out. And the ticket is you helping us. It's what I saw, heard, smelled, felt. I can identify him. I saw him. I talked to him. I'll do the photo lineup. I'll testify in court, and I'll get justice. But nobody wants to get involved anymore. And because of that, it's just turning into shit. And it's hard to sit. It's hard to sit and listen to people bitch about it. Well, you're not going to do your part. We can't help you.
Right.
So I wanted to talk about that today. I know it's not a fun topic, and there's people that are on two sides of the coin. Nope, the job's not dead. And the other coin is, yep, the job is dead. And you can kind of see some of that in recruiting numbers. Because it used to be for every agency that had one opening, there'd be 500 people trying for that one opening. and you might be on a waiting list to get hired. And
Right.
now you have 100 openings and only 50 people came and dropped off applications.
Yeah.
I mean, it's people don't want to do this job anymore and they're not scared of getting hurt. By and large, we want the warrior mentality that ain't scared of getting hurt or killed. But they're like, I'm going to get barbecued. I make a mistake. I'm going to prison. I could lose my livelihood. I could lose my family.
Yeah.
I would rather die than lose my honor, than be dishonored.
Yeah.
So I've never been a suicidal person in my life, ever. Homicidal maybe once or twice in my life. Never been suicidal. But I could see where officers have killed themselves after they've been arrested and put on the news. You're so dishonored that I could see why they do it. Like, I can't live with this dishonor. Like, I am done. Like, no one's ever going to trust me again, even if I didn't do this or whatever it is. I'm never going to be trusted again. I was all over the news. Every woman I try to date is going to fucking Google me. Well, shit. Oh, he's a bad officer. It's just, it has this cascading effect. So I can see where officers have committed suicide because of that. Public humiliation is a very large motivator for suicide.
Right.
So we don't want people to do that, obviously.
Yeah.
Please don't kill yourself. Like, please. That's not the way out. But I can see why they have.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I don't know if the job is dead or if it's just taking a hiatus and we're waiting to turn it back around, peaks and valleys. But it is not the same as when I became an officer. It's not the same as when you became an officer. The stuff we did back then versus now, we did stuff we had to do for safety and it worked and we had control. And now we don't really have that control. But at the same time, the public doesn't want us to do that anymore. So it's like, what do you want us to do? You want us to slow down the violent crime? You can't stop it, obviously. But do you want us to put a dent in it, or do you just want to let it keep going? And that guy keeps getting arrested and released and arrested and released and arrested, and then finally someone dies. And you look at his criminal history, and he's been arrested 25 fucking times for violent crimes and never did a day in prison because he's misunderstood. His daddy used to beat him. His mama didn't give him her titty to be breastfed. I mean, stop giving people excuses. They're adults. They broke the law. That's it. They have to be accountable. And every time you let them loose and don't make them accountable, they just keep doing it. Because, hey, I got away with it. I'm going to get away with it again. I'm going to get away with it again until they try it in a county that doesn't play that game. And all of a sudden, they're handed a 30-year sentence. And like, well, wait a minute. Hold on. I did the same thing in that county. Yeah, this ain't that county. Did you notice it's red on the way in? Yeah, there's a difference. So that's my thing. I know it's not a fun topic, but guys, you need to know this stuff. We have your back. Officers have each other's backs. Do your job. Know how to articulate why you did what you did, and you'll be fine. If you got to put your hands on somebody, the power of the pen will save your ass. Write down why you did what you did. What was the suspect doing? Don't just say, he tried to punch me and I broke his jaw. No, tell the story that led up to that. What was he doing? Bladed stance, clenched fist, clenched jaw, telling you he's going to kick your ass. Those are all pre-assault indicators, and you can take action based on that because it's articulable. Like, you don't have to let someone punch you before you take action. That just sounds stupid. But people have that mentality. Like, I got to let him hit me first, or at least try to hit me. No, you don't. If you blade off on me and clench your fists and square your jaw off on me and tell me I'm going to kick your ass, I don't have to wait for you to hit me now. I'm going to hit you first because I need to get on top of you first. Before I'm not going to let you get her. Okay, hit me. Free shot. Go ahead and hit me. No. He knocks you out. You wake up without your gun belt if you're lucky. You wake up without your gun belt in your car.
Yeah.
And you're like, uh-oh. He's got my gun belt, my radio, and my car. Uh-oh. That's a problem.
Yeah.
So we don't give freebies. We don't give people free shots at our jaw. Okay, you take their head off at the first punch and be done with it. Cuff them and go, well, you shouldn't have tried to hit me. I wasn't going to hit you. Every indicator you showed me says you were going to. So you ain't going to put on a condom unless you're going to fuck. Okay? You square off on me like you're going to hit me, I'm not going to wait for you to hit me first. That's just stupid. So, guys, don't do that. Please don't think you got to be hurt first before you take action because you're going to get seriously hurt. And your career might be over based on the injury. So don't do that. And then now you're trying to find a new job that you can't stand because you lost the job you loved. That's my footstep. That's my 2 cents, but whatever. So we appreciate you joining us this week on Running Code. We're working on more episodes. We'd love to have ideas from you. If you send us ideas by email, stuff you want us to talk about or a topic you don't understand, J-Man and I will do some research and decide if we want to do that show. And if it's something worth actually other people need to know. Now, if it's something stupid, don't bother. But if it's a good topic and you really don't understand something, let us know. Now, we might have covered it already. Look back at our previous episodes. It may be something we've already covered. Some episodes we cover individual topics, and some episodes are topic specific. We may have covered it. So,
Right.
well, I don't understand how the Constitution works. go to our episode titled The U.S. Constitution. We're going to break it down there. So, or how does Miranda work? Go to our episode titled Miranda. So we discussed it there and broke it down. As always, if you want to get hold of us, it's runnincode2023@gmail.com. That's RUNNINCODE 2023@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. You can leave comments on the YouTube channel as well, both the audio and the video. And please send the links to the YouTubes or the Apple or whatever podcast platform you use to other people. Hey, check these guys out. They're funny. Or check this episode out. We want you to push this stuff out there for us so we can get more listeners because we want to put the message out there more. I think what we have to say is important, and I want more people to hear it. Plus, I'm also selfish and I want to get more views. So we're almost at 14,000. I like to keep that going. I'd love to add a couple zeros to that eventually, but we got to start little, work our way up. Yeah. Rome wasn't built in a day, and we don't have Joe Rogan money where we can have that kind of studio where that's all we do every day is podcast, which that'd be badass. I'd love to be able to have the Sean Ryan setup or the Joe Rogan setup, where they have these actual studios and producers and guys who do research for them and they can fly guests in. Oh, God, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Unfortunately, we're just a couple of poor cops who do this out of their own pocket. So, but we're not asking you for money. We'll figure it out. Now, maybe once you get bigger, and then, if we join a Patreon where any donation helps, thanks, help us out. But it's not we're doing this for money. We're doing this because we believe in it. So that's our foot stomp this week. Brothers and sisters, help each other out, protect each other, stop each other from doing stupid shit. You step in and go, hey, man, don't do that. Instead of letting them do it and go, that was funny. And it was criminal. Don't do that. Help each other out. Jamie, anything to add on this topic?
Nope. All good.
Well, everybody, appreciate you joining us for another week of Running Code. Pass this out to your friends. Everybody be safe, and we're out of here.